In-hand service pistols, or ESP, full-size 10 rounds and a joy to shoot. With the right ammo and matching trigger, some competitors say it can actually sing. Welcome to the second season of Can We Chat?
This podcast has been made possible by our sponsors, CA-IDPAshooters, responsible training for the competitive minded, and Fast Path Firearms training, because safety is no accident.
What is going on? My name is Paul G., Chief Safety Officer for the IDPA. This channel will help you clarify IDPA rules, shooting techniques, and inform you of the newest gear and what's going on in the shooting community. If you're new here, consider subscribing. Joining me today is my better half, the Viking. Good morning, brother. How are you?
Always doing great.
Thanks for coming in. We have a lot to talk about today. It's
we got a lot coming up too.
Your life has been chaotic.
Always is.
I was so happy to see the last match. We haven't seen you in such a long time.
Well, it was seen, but then abruptly, as soon as I was seen, reverted back to the helm front.
Yeah.
I was not happy.
So life was definitely getting in the way. First of all, how are you feeling?
Better, still a little bit of twinge in the back, but I think I might have a guy kind of help me out. But no, it was definitely brutal for the first couple days after. Those of you guys don't know, shooting one of the local club matches and shot a stage, grabbed a handful of ammo out of a wagon, stood back up, and completely threw my back out.
Yeah, you just looked at me and had that white look over your face, and
I didn't get out, so I actually had Megan drive home.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it was 50-50 shot.
Right.
Got home and I did not get up unless I had to use the restroom for 24 hours like you were telling me. And after that, it was very gingerly walking.
You know, we were sitting there and we were just, you should just stay.
If I could walk, I probably would have.
Yeah.
When I got out of the truck, the next door neighbor saw me. He's like, "What did you do?" I'm like, I threw my back out. He's like, oh, man.
Yeah, even Derek was disappointed that you were leaving. We were just sitting there like, he should just stay. I'm like, yeah. I was looking at you, and I can only imagine how much pain you were feeling.
Like when you're like, squat down, kind of do a couple of tests. I was like, I can't get back up.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Yeah, it was. I haven't done that in probably 15 plus years.
Right. So that was the beginning or end of last month.
Yeah, so it was,
And then you made the last match.
Made the last match.
Oh, thank God for that.
Yeah, it was nice, but also brutal.
Yes.
There's a lot of travels beforehand.
Yeah, so you had some things that you had to attend to for family.
So it was a long drive up, long drive back, and then a lot of sleepless nights, and then...
That was in Fresno.
Hanford.
Okay.
So it was... an area down there.
And you did that all in one day.
So left Friday morning, drove up there, had the services Saturday, and then drove home Saturday, and then shot the match Sunday.
Yeah. And how much sleep were you working on?
Not that much. If it wasn't great quality sleep.
So you showed up, though.
Showed up.
Did your best.
Did my best. Wasn't mentally there, but it always helps me at least, to kind of clarify your mind and, focus on the task at hand rather than all the outside crap that you're having to deal with. Yeah, so for me, it's going out shooting with my best friends and, shooting a match is nothing better. Even if you're not completely there and you're just, not doing that greatest, it's still way better than seeing a therapist.
Well, you have the team for that.
Yeah, and I don't have to pay them.
So we had the team showed up. It was busy in our squad, and we went out there. It was cold, overcast.
I thought it was nice. I thought weather was perfect. The only downfall is it's a little muggy, so you couldn't wear the sunglasses and actually see the target. So I missed a headshot.
So did I.
Yeah, it's 2 body 1 head or 2 body 2 head.
Right.
I completely shanked the headshot. I was like, I wouldn't have called that one.
Right. So my question is, how many of you actually have multiple glasses, clear and sunglasses? For me,
usually it's always sunglasses for me.
I didn't even know where my clear glasses were.
Well, I found them, but then they're all smudged up and fogged over because they're in the truck. So I can't see the target from here when I was keeping score. So I ran to the truck real quick.
Right.
Now I'm completely out of breath coming back. I'm like, oh. And I put them on, and they're completely fogged over. I was like,
we were just totally rattled.
Yeah.
It was.
If the chips weren't stacked against us already, it definitely was at that point.
It was not a good start.
It was a rough start. And after that, I was just like, all right,
it is what it is.
Yeah, what do we do from here? And then,
but then the targets started getting further and further away, right?
Yeah, there were some actually far targets this go around.
And with the overcast, I couldn't see. I couldn't see clearly, and so I was throwing them off the lines, and I was like, oh man, this is not good. I was getting real frustrated.
No, you're frustrated? Never. That doesn't happen. You're cool as a cucumber.
I was out of my element, man. This is horrible. That was horrible.
It's not a bad thing to be out of your element. You got to test yourself every once in a while and, get out of your comfort zone. If everything's right on top of it.
Yeah. Well, so we're shooting ESP, and I just got my ass handed to me. So
I think we all did.
You held your own for just working on like 3 hours of sleep. So you actually placed fourth. Top four, right?
Yeah.
So congratulations to David Orr and Bobby Zachary and Courtney Abel. I mean, they stepped all over us.
Yeah.
Well, especially David Orr and Bobby Zachary.
I mean, you have great shooters out there. That's what's nice about shooting our local club matches. You have some really great shooters out there, and it's always competitive.
Yeah, ESP is just a really, really tough division, especially it's like the entry level where things are starting to get a lot faster.
Oh, yeah.
Next stop would be Carry Optics, and those guys are even faster.
Yeah.
Which they were just rocking on. We had one of those knuckleheads with us.
Yeah, we did.
Actually, he's a teammate. So, congratulations to Chris Shaw. So, his performance was just rock solid.
He's always consistent.
Yeah,
that's one thing. Is his consistency is just bar none.
Yeah, he brought was he a fellow
fellow
sheriff or
officer?
Okay,
so they're HP.
Oh, both of them.
Yep.
He was rocking it too.
Yeah, they definitely are squared away.
He's not coming back, is he?
Yeah, I think he will. I think he likes torment. Damn it. Well, that and I think Chris keeps going, come on, let's go. Let's go.
He always is the instigator, right?
Yeah, someone has to stir up the pot, You have to give you some relief and a little bit of a break.
So my gun was just malfunctioning. I tried that.
You don't say.
Yeah, that mag release idea of mine. I tried that. Doing the mag release is no longer pointing the muzzle over the berm because it's just right there, right?
It is right there. The downfall is it's right there.
Yeah.
That you did notice. But what I did notice is your extension's a very aggressive extension.
It was a little bit more extended than I need it to be. Okay, it was a lot extended than I needed to be.
Yeah, it was rather large. Like I put one on mine and really like it. And I kind of angled mine down a little bit so it wouldn't quite be right in the way. So it's still very user friendly, but not so much to where when you actually build your grip around your pistol, that you're not accidentally hitting it.
So that you got yours from Double Alpha.
Double Alpha.
Okay, so I'm just going to have to make a purchase probably.
Yeah, I want to say if I remember off on the fly, it was about $20, $22 or something like that.
That's actually cheaper than the one that I got. So, but
that's the downfall of testing gear. You always. I mean, I'm sure everybody out there has these big piles of gear and stuff that they've tried didn't quite work. Tried this one worked, and then
right, and
it's a rabbit hole you don't.
And you have to try it, right? So
well, that's what's nice is they could tune in and watch a video like this and actually get some of the latest tips and gear techniques.
I'm a master at showing you exactly what not to do, and I can continue doing stuff. So all of this messes toward the 2025 Western, which is less than 14 days, or is it 16 days now?
Right? Yeah, what is it?
16 days?
Yeah, somewhere right around there.
So a couple weeks. This thing's coming up 1st of May. So are you ready for this? After our last showing, man, I am,
one way or another, it's gonna happen.
I have a lot of work to do, brother.
Don't we all?
So the Western IDPA Regional Championship, it's a Tier 4. It's out in Sacramento. Fred Mowry's our beloved match director. He is supported by Kevin Ballman, Phil Zidek, and Brian Ferris. This is May 3rd and 4th. All the arrangements are taken care of for our
for Airbnb.
What about Will?
Yeah.
Right. So William Barnett is the veteran that we are going to fly him there.
Hence the sweatshirts.
Hence the sweatshirts are paying for his trip over here. So
it's gonna be a great time.
Ian's all set, ready to go with his shenanigans, and I don't know what the hell's going to go on with those guys.
It's definitely gonna be an adventure.
I think it's going to be great
on and off the range.
Yeah. So, but like, let's getting back to the ESP. So my STI was having some issues. I thought it was just me dealing with the mag release, but it was a little bit more than that.
A little bit more than that.
Yeah. So I was actually engaging a target, and I noticed that the gun was just going forward, and it was impressing. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? So gave it to my best friend, and he cleaned it up.
Massive amounts of abuse and no maintenance.
Yeah.
Usually tend to have things not go so well.
Yeah.
So we actually pulled probably about 3 pounds of crud out of it.
Okay. So that's my bad. I'm just
maybe just every once in a while,
I'm a race car driver. I have no idea where to put the oil in.
Race cars, they have like a pit crew. They do some maintenance. A little rebuilds here and there.
Right.
You just can't run in the red all the time.
Yeah, okay. So bad.
But yeah, we did tune it up, tune the extractor. Everything else is pretty fine. It just chip away all the crud. Didn't have to clean up any of the sear surfaces or anything, but did take a little bit of the pre-travel out, set the over-travel. So it's actually functioning really nice. Lubed it up with some of the lube I make myself.
I am actually really impressed with this stuff. What exactly is this secret sauce?
It's secret. It's something I've been working on for a handful of years now that I've just been making myself, and then applying it to all my personal guns and any guns that I've worked on. And everybody seems to love it and like, oh, you should sell it.
Yeah.
So finally I've been getting around to actually making batches and bottling it up, working with Ryan, that's another fellow teammate of ours, on making a label for it. So hopefully pretty soon it will be available and circulating through a website and all over the place.
How often do you have to apply it when you're shooting a match?
Before the match, and
that's it.
That's it.
Oh, awesome. The stuff that I use, it gets a little light,
so that's where I started playing around with. Is I noticed a lot of the oils.
Yeah.
They're just a little too thin. They dissipate, burn off real quick.
Yeah.
That's why I was playing with the viscosity that I have that I make for this particular setup. It stays fairly viscous to where it's light enough to where it's going to be nice and smooth, but thick enough to where it's going to stay and not run all over the place and get everywhere you don't want it to.
So when I first purchased the STI, it had that nice slick feeling to it. It was off and on, hit and miss, and now it's actually returned after your
I've had a lot of guns to where it seems a little chunky, and I've literally just done that. And even some of my fellow friends that are officers and running their guns on duty, and they're like, what did you do to this thing? I'm like, literally just cleaned it and lubed it up with this stuff. And they're that was actually one of the things that I first saw. I was like, wow, that hasn't come back, or I haven't seen that in a while, right? Yeah. So that's pretty impressive, baby. It's definitely something I've been playing around with, like I said, for a few years, and even tested. A lot of my family does a lot of hunting, and there's Eurasian hunts down in like the Nyland area where they're shooting cases and cases and cases of shotgun shells. Yeah. And most of the time their guns are going out before they're out of shells because they just can't handle that much abuse. And actually test out with some of those shotguns, and they just kept running all day. Maybe we should show a before and after video for our subscribers. Yeah, definitely. I was going to say maybe give it month or two before your gun needs to get done again and go through it again.
Officially, this is a testing, so that'll definitely show up on Viking tips down the road, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll get to see that. That'll be very, very cool. So here's Viking going through my gun. Take a look.
So we have here is Paul G's STI that had a complete tune-up gone through, because anybody that has known Paul, met him, seen him, or even walked by him at the range knows that he doesn't like cleaning or taking care of his stuff like he probably should. So what we have done to this is completely gone through it, cleaned it up to where it got all the gunk, crud, and all the other goodies that I found going through this thing. So we're just going to take it down real quick. With these older STIs, you have a little spring clip, drop it down, line up your edge, pop your pin through, slide the slide right off, come back through, pull the guide right out, slip down your barrel link, slide your barrel out. As you can see, it's all nice and lubed with some of the Viking speed sauce, which will be available soon, hopefully on our website. Ryan is currently working on the label for it. So as you can see, it's been totally gone through, completely clean, no grease, grud, crud, and other surprises. So what we have done is actually taken some of the pre-travel out of the trigger, tuned the extractor, got all the crud out of there because we were starting to really have some issues. Completely degreased it and tuned it up to where it's going to be 100% reliable for any of the closer soon-to-be matches, particularly the Western. We're going to put this guy back together, and I'll show you some of the pre-travel that has been taken out of it, because it was about 1.5 miles long and pretty gritty and grimy. So this guy is not wanting to cooperate. So there we go. I'm going to put this guy back together. Get a little rag here. Slide the frame back on. Line up your link. Drop your slide stop in. Line up your notch. Slide that right in, lock it back to the rear, pull your pin out, you're clear and good to go. So what you have done on this particular firearm is taken a little bit of the pre-travel out. So the pre-travel is right before it hits that wall, so now we're sitting right at that wall, fires, and we set the over-travel out to where it's just a tiny little bit to where you can get going again. It's very important to actually take care of your firearms and actually have them cleaned up and good. That way you have a nice, reliable firearm for all your shooting needs.
So, like I said, I'm very impressed with that. Thank you so much for doing that for me.
It's my pleasure.
Especially the pre-travel. That's not something that I actually take care of. It's the Allen wrench through the trigger thing, or
the pre-travel actually has on the trigger bar itself, it actually has some wings up on the front of the trigger bar to where you actually bend those out so it sets the trigger back just a little bit.
Yeah, okay. Yep. Right.
So you set that to where you like having that little bit of pre-travel. Me, I like having just a little bit right before you hit the wall.
Yeah.
So you have that little tactile, like real loose, and then, all right, I'm at the wall now, to where you can make a conscious decision to fire or not.
Yeah.
So I like having just that little bit, where some guys like having nothing at all.
Yeah.
I like having just that little bit, but I noticed with yours, it was just like, whoop, all right.
It was like a limb trigger.
Pretty close. And then all the crud inside the module itself that was definitely hanging it up.
Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of testing on ammo, and because I was going from the cast bullets to the copper, the plated, right? So, so there was a lot of crud getting mixed in there. And
there's a lot.
Thank you very much for taking care of that for me.
I mean, even the extractor channel, or the extractor channel was, I pushed a Q-tip through and I was like, ugh.
Yeah. Well, those reloaded casings, so that'll do a number on your extractor every time. But my baby is actually running again, so I'm very impressed.
I'm sure she'll run for a good little while.
So the stands were actually 3D injected, all right? And this was made by Tony Como's son. He made a bunch of these for me. I was very impressed with this. If you guys are interested in that, I'm sure I can get you a hold of Tony, and Tony can get a hold of his son.
Do we have the speaking logo yet?
You know what? I was looking for that. And I was like, "Ooh, man!" But
I guess Tony doesn't love us enough.
Yeah, we'll have to make a special mention that hey, maybe you should put our Speaking logo on it and see where that goes with that stuff. But getting back to the match. Shooting ESP, the targets were starting to get out a little further, right? So a little more than
a little more distance
12,
than our
13,
standard
16 yards, right? And there was actually one out there. We were trying to get one out to 20, and that was a little further than I wanted it to be. But
I mean, it's good practice.
So
I don't mind it, even if I suck at it. I don't mind it because you got, like I said, you got to jump out of your comfort zone every once in a while.
Yeah. So I zeroed my gun at 15. Mm-hmm. All this time I've been zeroing at 10. I noticed that the steals are no longer an issue for me. I'm hitting them, but now the targets are getting a little strange.
That will definitely happen.
I'm going low now. I'm like, whoa, man, what happened?
Well, just aim a little higher. Always set your sights high.
Oh man, that's crazy. But things worked well. I needed Viking to reciprocate the mag release on my 365, which you did. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
That was pretty impressive how you did that with a sewing needle.
Yeah, I find that some guys use paper clips and all that, but I find that a sewing needle works best. Because you actually have to, there's a very tiny hole that you have to set it in and kind of press in while lifting out.
Yeah.
And the sewing needle just has enough tension on it to where it pushes that and kind of digs into that little plastic piece. It just pushes itself out. The biggest thing with those are some guys will try to use too big of a screw or try to jam it in, and they'll actually break those things.
Really?
Ask me how I know. I've done it multiple times, and you could go to any of the places that you could actually get replacement parts, and most of the time they're always sold out. So usually, I think the very first time I did it and broke one, I think I ordered like a backup 5, and then I've had so many friends like, hey,
they're gone now.
Yeah. I'm like, well, don't worry, I have one. Oh, don't worry, I have one.
We always can count on you.
Now I'm out of them. I need to up my supply again. But yeah, it's the very most common thing. And if you end up using a sewing needle, I've noticed that so far I've never destroyed another one. And that was a one and done lesson that I learned. And that was a quick Viking tip is use a sewing needle. Just enough backbone to kind of pry it out of there.
So the issue that I had was I was trying to figure out how to do mag changes with this little thing. And I noticed that my thumb now it's too long, right? So my thumb is too long, and I'm having problems reaching the mag release.
Well, and when you start wrapping all the way around like that, you're
not only does that change grips, but I was just having a lot of problems. And then you recommended that I just take the mag release button and
put it on the other side,
flip it around. I didn't even know you can do that. So
yeah, on the 365s, it's a very common thing to do.
So he sat there and he asked for a sewing needle, and I just looked at him and went, "Oh my god!"
Did you rip a hole in your crotch?
What the hell's wrong with you? So with sewing needle and came right out. I was like, "Huh, look at that."
Yeah, just that simple.
And now it's on the opposite side. So how do they? So how do you mag change with that stuff?
So what I do is, as I'm coming through here, as I'm shooting, I literally just come right through here to where it clears my palm and the whole 9.
Okay.
And just re-grip right through here and back up on target. So I just do one of these.
Right.
Drop it right straight down, then insert mag and then come right back up. So it kind of breaks the grip just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
But I find it much easier than try to kind of wrap around and then, my fat palms are, covering up the mag to where it just doesn't drop free anymore. So that's what I've done with a lot of the smaller guns that just happens to work for me even on the AXG Legion, which has a little bit bigger grip to where it's a little bit more of a full-size grip.
Yeah.
I still do the same thing. It's just that much easier to where I don't have to break my grip as much.
Okay. So I'm going to have to try that. I worry about making sure that I have a lot of room for the mag to go back in there.
Yeah.
So I'll have to take a look at that stuff. But I'm sure that would be a cool little video, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we're just racking up all kinds of Viking tip stuff.
Just keep stacking and stacking and stacking and stacking.
So, any last minute preparation for the Western?
No, just trying to make sure the back's going to hold up and be good. So it was a good little test. Like when I woke up Sunday, after being tired and everything else, I'm like, this is not a good idea. But I'm like, nope, we're going to do this. And the first couple stages, I was like, kind of waiting for it to just be aggravated and end up on my knees again. But I was like, you know what? All right, let's keep going. And I was fine. But yeah, it's my biggest worry now is just that, making sure that it's going to be all good.
Right.
But not too worried, because even then, there's only so much you can do. So.
Right. But you've been doing some type of supportive exercises and so forth, right?
I've been eating a lot cleaner, healthier, going for walks, doing some training, kind of working on some footwork, building up a little bit more core strength.
Okay.
Doing those numbers to where, not push myself too hard to where I'm going to injure myself, but just more of a maintenance.
I didn't say anything about that.
But yeah, it's coming up.
So for those fantastic shooters out there that don't have the necessary tools and so forth, or know how to do maintenance on their pistols, what do you suggest?
Are
there
always reach out? I mean, there's gunsmiths all over the place that will do those kind of services. A lot of your local shops, if you're having issues, a lot of your local shops will do it. Even if it's a full teardown, a gunsmith is completely qualified to do that.
Right.
For the most part, we always ask the channel and try to get back to you and kind of give you a couple tips and kind of break it down that route.
Sure.
Some of the guns are a little bit more intricate to where, someone might not be comfortable outside of a basic field strip. Right. And what I tell those individuals is either learn or drop it off to your local gunsmith that you trust. Which
I just decided to make a team, so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. But yeah, something like that. I mean, it's a necessary evil that you're going to have to do it at some point in time of completely turning down the gun. If you're shooting as much as we do and shooting matches and, shooting as fast as we do, that you're going to have to tear your gun down completely.
Well, the STI served me well. There wasn't very much maintenance that I had to do, but it was actually required, and I didn't do it. So I apologize to the gun for that. But guns that are low tolerances, such as this one right here, needs to be tended to, and not abused as often as.
It's usually like that race car mentality. The higher price of that race car, the more maintenance it's going to require. And
absolutely.
That's definitely a race car.
That's definitely going to have to change. So, but I'll take care of that stuff. So when can we expect your special secret sauce to hit the market?
Hopefully next couple weeks.
Okay.
So
we're ready to go with that stuff, or
it's the first batch is bottled, ready to go. Okay. Waiting on some labels that hopefully be here in the next week or two. Okay. And start labeling it up.
So immediately they can do that. We probably want to send out that video very quickly, and we'll see what happens. But I love the stuff. The gun is actually reacting almost like new.
Yeah, it's kind of the goal.
So with all of the stresses and the life getting in the way and stuff like that, how do you keep your mind organized?
Organized?
Yeah. Your thoughts and so forth.
Oh, you don't want to spend any time up in this brain. People run scared.
I mean, when we're out there in the match and so forth, I sit there and it's really tough to come back in, and just focus for that 15 seconds, right?
It is, but for me, that's my clear space. Like, that's the time where, I'm always thinking, like, I've put notes in my phone in the middle of the night after I wake up on an idea for this or that, because if I don't do it right then and there, I'll probably forget it, or like, oh, I had a great idea.
Yeah.
But for me, my mind's always going and always thinking about something or trying to figure out something or how to do this or why does that, just sometimes it's completely ridiculous of, oh, I wonder how that's made.
Yeah.
So for me, it actually helps a lot shooting matches to where I can only focus on the task at hand and how to do it safely.
Right.
So for me, it's like this clarity moment to where it's like, oh, no, I can't think about, oh, wonder what that is doing over there. It's more of a, all right, no, I have to focus on this aspect and this aspect only.
Yeah.
And how well can you do it?
Yeah.
So for me, it's a big deal. And then even outside of shooting that particular stage, having the friends and kind of like, hey, what do you think I should do here?
Right.
Playing that mind game of what's the most efficient way.
Yeah.
And, bouncing ideas off of all my friends out there. It's, to me, it's kind of relaxing.
Yeah.
And most people are like, hold on, how could a match be relaxing? To me, it actually is.
Well, I mean, it's really tough when, your best friend's just smoking you and trying to gain composure is a very tough chore.
We've all been there.
Yeah, that's true. But when you're shooting, differently, and you want to get better, and yesterday,
maybe that should be another video coming up. How we perceive a stage and how we plan a stage.
There's a bunch of those, but mind games. Yeah,
more of the mind game of
that would be a good video.
The walkthrough.
Yeah, absolutely.
On what your initial versus what your thought versus how you actually did it.
Yeah,
be kind of interesting.
Okay, I think we have a topic then. Beautiful.
Something.
Well, there you have it. Our straight from the mind's mind. A special shout out to the channel membership. This is your support. Busy at work. Please consider being a part of our shooting community, building relationships around safe gun practice and IDPA competition. My name is Paul G, and this is
Anthony the Viking Vega.
Please be safe, and we shall see you on the range.
Like, share, subscribe.
I'd like to put your secret sauce on this thing.
Oh, we can.
So, this thing does not have a handle.
No.